Mark Tronson from the Australian Missionary News. I have here today Fabian Barlow. Fabian is the head coach of both the Australian and the Australian Institute of Sport softball squad. And I've known Damien now for some years, and we visit Damien in the Brisbane campus, and we've got Damien here today to ask him some questions. Now, first of all, where did this love of softball come from?
I'll just clear one thing up, Mark. It's Fabian, not Damien, but we'll work on that as the interview goes along.
Fabian.
That's fine. Look, my father was heavily involved in it as a player and then a coach, and I've got two older brothers who played it from an early age, so it was just sort of natural for me to fall into the sport. And my brothers were both good players, and I learnt a lot from them. My mum was involved as a manager of teams and on a board member on a local association, so I sort of in lots of ways had no choice but to get into it, because I was at softball training or softball fields each week with Dad and my brother. So
wonderful.
That's where it all started.
Okay, now tell us something about your track to the top.
It's been really quick actually, and a lot quicker than previous coaches in other sports, I would think, which is obviously a plus for me. But it started at about 6 years ago, coaching a local team back in New Zealand. Then I got moved into a state team for 2 seasons. And then the Victorian Institute of Sport had a job going as their technical coach, and I managed to secure that role, and I was there for 18 months. And then after Athens Olympics in 2004, the head coach of the national team decided not to continue, and I was encouraged by a gentleman named Peter Spence at the VIS to put my name in for the experience of the interview, and it all worked out that I got the job. So
wonderful.
It was very quick, but I certainly wasn't going to say no with the opportunities provided.
Years and years ago, it must have been about 1984 that I introduced chaplaincy to the Victorian Institute of Sport, and I'm pretty sure that Peter Spence was the guy.
I'm sure he was.
Okay, now, stress. I saw you playing, or the squad playing, in the Beijing Olympics, and there was round after round after round trying to win that vital semi-final. How do you handle the stress?
If the players play really well, it's a lot less stressful for me. Yeah, look, it's really difficult, and that was my first Olympics, and it's an extremely unique experience from other events that you're at, and there's lots of pressure in other areas that come on that you're not used to. But look, at the end of the day, whatever event you're at, it's a simple game, and if you want to make it more complicated, you're going to create your own pressure. But what I try to do is, when there's an opportunity to not think softball, I'll go for a walk, or I tried to get out of the village as much as I could and watch other sports and just get away from it, because once you're in, you're really locked in and have to be there for the players.
Now, softball is like every other major sport, that when you're on tour and you go to World Cups, you go to championships, you go to this thing and that thing, softball takes up some of the time, but there's a lot of downtime. So how do you help the girls fix up that boredom period?
A lot of it doesn't require my help, because there's lots of malls and stuff where we go to in America and Canada, so a lot of it's taken up with some shopping just to get them out. Sometimes we'll split them into 2 gangs and have some fun games and competition there to get them away from out of the hotel and away from the softball field, and a bit different. Certainly encourage them to read books, or they've certainly, what's helpful now is the internet. They can get on there and just eat up time other ways.
Facebook?
Yeah, I'm not on there myself, but yeah, that's what I hear about a lot. Yes. And the girls are pretty good at understanding to turn it on and turn it off.
Yes. Okay, now at the AIS men's cricket unit, they've got a computer section, and I'm told that Facebook's a big item there too.
Yeah, like I say, our girls are on it pretty good.
Okay, now, what's the value, just in your view, just a respite?
Look, it's extremely valuable. Certainly now, the athletes and coaches, they're under pressure all the time. Every week there's a competition, there's trainings, there's performances that need to be met and expectations. So the respite becomes really valuable to for yourself personally, and then your family members who certainly are under pressure as well. Because for me personally, I've got 2 young children and I'm away from home a lot, which puts the heat on my partner to look after our kids. So the respite offers you that opportunity to get away from it completely and give back to your family and recharge the batteries within yourself as an athlete and a coach. So it's really valuable, and I'm certainly looking forward to in the future using it myself, and we certainly encourage with the athletes as well.
Thank you. Now, we've just given, Delma and I've just given our annual talk to the Australian and the AIS softball squad just about respite. Now this is Mark Thompson signing off after this wonderful time with Fabian Barlow, head coach of the Australian and the AIS softball, signing off for the Australian Missionary News.
Thank you.
And the Australian wave.
It certainly is. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Thanks for your time coming out too.
I shall just grab that. After